So a little video after the previous one I did because someone asked for a Dxvk. So basically, Dxvk is translation layer that translates DirectX calls to Vulkan, which is another way to basically render programs on Windows, I guess. And it just basically translates the DirectX calls to Vulkan calls. It doesn't impact the game, basically. So usually Vulkan is a bit better than DirectX, at least 11, on the cache side and managing like microstutters, blah, blah, blah. So it does help video a bit. It doesn't really give you max FPS. Like it is a translation, so like you technically do lose performance since you need that translation, but it does help a lot with like 1% lows and stutters. Another advantage is that it allows uncapped FPS in without full screen, which the base game blocks you with VSync even if you have it off in the control panel. The version I'm using right now is 2.4.1. I did try more recent one like 2.7, blah, blah, blah. But every version I tested like after 2.5 basically has those stutters every X seconds. I do not have any confirmation why, but I think it's because the memory write that happened in 2.5 basically fucks with video. So I didn't test like that much because 2.4 works well. And that's like the idea I have of it. So all you have to do for basically the Dxvk to work is have those three files, those two files inside your bin60 folder where video is installed. And basically it's gonna use the DLL of the Dxvk and make it work. I am using a config that I made myself. I do not know 100% sure if those things help with the game. So I will describe them to you. This is basically useless. It was for previous version. I just keep it there in case, I don't know, it's placebo. This helps with the pipeline graphic library. Basically helps caching. Max frame rate, you put it to whatever you want. That's just like frame limit. Normally, I would not cap it from the Dxvk because it basically fucks with the engine limits. So I recommend putting unlimited inside the Dxvk and capping through your control panel, either NVIDIA or AMD. It's normally better. Synctor value, basically, when I make it to 0, it's basically for latency. And like this is VSync, for example. Max frame latency, usually you want to put 1. If you have very weak CPU, you can increase it. But it's like kind of shit for latency. So, I do it because I have shit CPU. But unlike most people, you basically want the 1. It's basically the same thing as NVIDIA low latency. It makes it so that CPU can only produce 1 frame for the GPU. Disable MSI, you just put it to true. Tessellation, you basically put it to A, that's the minimum. So we basically lose graphics for rounds. Sample isotope, same thing. And this basically, I basically modified it. Base Dxvk doesn't allow you to go to negative LDBS, which make it that you cannot go potato mode with Dxvk. So I basically modified a little bit the code. So now basically it allows you to go to like 100,000 negative. You can literally just put 3 and basically something, but you can put 100,000 if you want. Then the HUD, you can basically put whatever you want. You can just look on the Dxvk config file. I can pull it up. The Dxvk, you can just look here. That's basically all the variables you can use for HUD. So for example, some people might like frame times, FPS, blah, 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 compiler or whatever you want. Worst case, you can just put all and you have the full HUD. Enable HDR, you can use it if you have an HDR screen. That's up to you. Allow FSC can be used on some AMD GPU. I know like some people who had issues who had like a use of it. For most people, you don't need it. All of this is like currently I'm testing. This instead of A, I'm currently testing CR. It's basically to cache dynamic resources in the RAM instead of the GPU memory. So the CPU goes to RAM instead of like the GPU, which seems a bit faster, so it helps with the caching. So this is the config I'm using. It will all be in the description. Also worth noting that this basically makes the game be able to run on potato mode on AMD GPUs, which is basically normally not possible since they do not have access to LODBS changes in the drivers. So it can be also like a good thing for most AMD GPUs people. So if you like the video, I guess sub, a kiss, and like, and whatever. See you.